beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? I have no volume. Would you be mine? Test, test, test. Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Check, check, check. All right. Guess I'm kind of there. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Power to the People. The snow hopefully is gone. I made a decision this week to step in the spring, even if spring does not step to me. And I am going to summarize my snowblower this week and pull out my grills and my lawn furniture. Is it dangerous? And step in the spring. That's what I'm going to do. So, welcome to spring. I am going to enjoy this season of not petitioning and just enjoying the summer that I haven't had in a long time. So welcome. I know you guys have been some of you have been following me on my CPAP journey. So the same way I started talking about it, because I kind of need your help. And welcome everybody on Facebook. So the first couple of days I was all excited about it, and I really did want it because I thought it would give me better sleep. And I think it does. But now I'm still waking up at 1 o'clock. And now first when I was waking up again at 1 o'clock, I'd go to sleep within 10 minutes. Well, that wasn't the case last night and the night before last, so I am still waking up at 1 and up to 2 or waking up at 5, and then it's kind of over. I was waking up with really dry mouth, even though I was putting the water in the machine. So those of you who have CPAP machines, I did turn up the humidity last night, which made it a little better. Okay, now. So I am on the journey. You can inbox me on Facebook if you got any suggestions. The cord doesn't bother me that much. It's just when it comes off of my face a little bit, and then if I put it too tight, I don't know. Too tight, I'm uncomfortable. Too loose, it moves. So I see this little new thing, and Pastor Jimmy Hardaway sent it to me, an ad of a new thing, but I just paid $190 copay, so we're going to hang out with this one for a while. $190 is not, shoot, I'm going to hang out with this one. Then the dumb machine, they can tell whether I have it on. And if I don't have it on so many days, they're not going to pay for the supplies. So I feel like I'm a prisoner to the seat. I don't like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it automatically downloads. Like automatically. It's not connected to your Wi-Fi where you can cut off your Wi-Fi. It has its own like telephone line that goes to my doctor and goes to some people analyze my sleeping. That's kind of scary. What if they can hear me? What if they can hear me? We find out later that not only were they downloading your snoring and your sleep patterns, but they were downloading your conversations because they're like TikTok. They're in China.
I don't like that.
I don't like that kind of teaching. So yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning how to use this thing. But they say no sound.
Now we got it. Yep, we fix it.
All right. Can you all hear now? Was the whole front part of my talking no sound?
No, it was just when you were. It was at the same time you didn't have your headphone connected.
So we're on this journey. Hopefully, I get it right or something. People were on when I first put it up, praying for my healing. I'm not sick. It's my face, the way my face is made. It's about bone structure for me. If you want to pray for a new bone structure, pray for bone structure.
Oof.
But yeah. So happy Women's Month. What is it? Women's History Month?
International Women's History Month.
Big ups to all of the glass ceiling breakers and to all of the women doing their thing. Last night, Rob Lowry, the chairman of the trustee board of True Bethel and his organization, and a boatload of sponsors, had a beautiful event for young entrepreneurs. He began by, he was here last week to tell us about the event, but then told us it was sold out. You remember him. So it was beautiful to see so many people there last night, to see not only young black men being honored, but a lot of young black women entrepreneurs. And we're talking like young, 15 and 16 years old, doing their thing. So big ups to all of them and congratulations to every one of them. So I started this talk, and I got a few things to talk about, talking about this machine that I have, how it uploads without my permission. I want to talk a little bit today about things like Alexa. What's the other one, the little round one?
You have the Google Homes.
Google
you have
Home.
Apple has a home system. I think those are the three big ones.
I really don't trust these devices. I really do not trust. I don't trust Alexa at all. And maybe the reason is, and I hope she's not watching. I ain't gonna say her name, but a cop gave us a police officer gave us Alexa. Not that police officer would, but as a gift. Now I do use Alexa. I use Alexa when I'm cooking, because I can tell Alexa to set several timers by the name, and it's going to tell me. So you say, Alexa, set the macaroni timer at 20 minutes, and she says, macaroni timer set at 20 minutes, but I can set several. Set the roast beef timer at this, and Alexa sets the roast beef timer at whatever it is, and that's what I use it for. For some reason, our Alexa thinks it is in New York City. So if you ask the weather, it gives you the weather in New York. And I don't know enough about it, but what I don't like is you ask it to do one thing, it makes suggestions. Do you want me to tell you a joke? I didn't ask you to tell me a joke, so don't tell me a joke. You're trying to learn me. You're trying to learn my habits. Now, I am not a conspiracy theorist, but the other day, Alexa called me by name, on the screen, and it said, Darius, do you want something? I unplugged Alexa. Too much information is just too much information.
Really?
It said, now I don't know if my name is programmed in there. I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, so when you set up Alexa, you go into the app and you create settings. So I have a completely smart house. So I got the Echo Dots in every room, and it can tell the difference between me and Leah's voice. So I can say play my music, and it'll play off of my phone's playlist. And if she says she wants to hear something, it'll play hers. But all of the routines we have set up work for both. And I think in the office we were talking about it. You can actually turn off in the actual Alexa app the ability for it to be constantly listening.
Let me tell you this. On Facebook, Jen says Siri, Google. Marie Collins says cell phones too, tracking device.
Yes.
Sharon Patterson White said, I don't like Alexa, Google, or trust them either. I am, and again, this isn't about conspiracy theory. These devices begin to learn your habits.
Yes.
And the more they learn your habits, some people like that. I am not a fan of it now. And I think that what really made me mad was the other day when it came up, Darius, do you want? I didn't even look at what it asked, do I want? All I did was unplugged it for the rest of the time. And if I'm on the phone, I unplug Alexa. I unplug Alexa for everything. And the reason is, at times I have said something and Alexa thought I was calling Alexa.
Yeah.
And it responded. I don't know. No. Because then that tells me, if I call Alexa and Alexa is trying to learn me, that when it mistakenly thinks I'm calling, that whatever I'm saying
After that
is being recorded.
Yeah.
In some type of way in somebody's database. So if I'm in the kitchen, I unplug Alexa unless I am using Alexa for a timer. Now, some of you might say, you're crazy. Oh, that's not. Well, if I'm crazy, then why did we just have in Washington, D.C., the head of TikTok? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm like most people, let things go over my head or certain. When people were saying TikTok may be getting our data. Now, the head was there in front of Congress because the company is headquartered in communist China. Communist China. And the fear is from lawmakers here, just so everybody understands what's going on, is that the data that they are grabbing, especially from young people, because, and I guess adults use it too. I don't TikTok. I don't know. My grandkids TikTok. But now I'm going to be very careful about them TikToking at my house. Yeah. Because I don't know. What Congress is saying now is that, they could grab data and then keep data, especially from young people, from their future. Yep. And if you look at when I remember when a certain football player came to Buffalo and they start bringing up stuff from when he was a teenager. Yeah. And that he had put on social media. So this stuff never goes away. It's always out there somewhere. It's always lurking out there. Where the child was, picture, if they're making videos, people are in the background, things that they've said at a young age that could later be used. The thought is by the federal lawmakers that this could be used later against. But I see that not just children use it, that adults are using it, families are using it. And it is, listen, I'm not one against social media. I'm against the use of social media in a negative way.
Absolutely.
But I think social media has a lot of benefits. And even TikTok, I think that what I've seen of my grandkids on it, it's I thought just a little fun, little something. Yeah. I didn't know that it was owned by a Chinese company.
Yep.
The fear is because it's in a communist country, which, by the way, TikTok is not in China.
Nope.
You cannot. The company is owned in China, yet Chinese people who live in China cannot use TikTok.
And what's interesting,
that's a problem.
And what's interesting is that if you look at the CEO's interview from last week, he actually says he doesn't even allow his children to use it.
There's a problem.
And I know we'll deep dive, but so one of the big takeaways they were throwing out there, talking points they were throwing out there before his visit to Capitol Hill was that the servers for the United States is actually housed in the United States, and how many United States businesses are actually benefiting from TikTok. So, they're all talking points.
What I feel is, then if we're afraid because, first of all, I'm afraid whenever the owner says, they used to have a commercial about balding, and the guy says, I'm not only the president of the company, I'm also a client of the company. I'm afraid when you pushing something out there, and you won't even let your children use it, and the country where you live will not allow it. There's a reason for that.
Yep.
And if people don't think there's a reason for it, shame on you. I believe there is a reason. I am not saying take away TikTok. Here's what I'm saying. Why doesn't somebody here in America come up with the same concept and call it something different, and then let us use an American company that at least has some regulations and some oversight to it.
And honestly, TikTok, to me, kind of birthed out of the short videos that Instagram was doing. And then they just created that as a sole platform because, of course, Instagram started as the photo platform, and then they ventured into short videos. And then TikTok just took the short video and just made that their whole platform.
Well, now everybody's got short video. Facebook has short videos, YouTube, and I watch short videos because I like to laugh when I get off of doing all this serious work, and so I do watch short videos.
Absolutely.
But I don't watch them on TikTok. I watch them on YouTube. But what I'm seeing now is a lot of the YouTube content is coming from TikTok.
Yes, it is.
Because it'll say TikTok on the bottom.
Because it's easier to edit the video in TikTok because that's what it's made for. And then what happens is you create it in TikTok and then you upload it everywhere else.
This is what I don't understand. Why not then create that? Why not? I mean, they don't have a patent on technology.
No.
It's the same thing if we said, well, if and this is just a facetious, just hear me. If Apple were owned by a Chinese company, a company based in China, let me put it the right way, a company based in China, go get an Android.
Right.
At the end of the day, TikTok, why can't YouTube or Instagram give the same tools to be able to edit?
Right.
Because, President Biden is talking about barring.
Yep.
And folks, I don't know if you noticed, but if the federal government decides to bar something, you won't be able to get it in this area. You will not be able to get it. The same way the Chinese government can bar a TikTok. If you take your phone right now and you go to visit in China, when that switchover happens of your, you will not be able to use TikTok. The same thing could happen right here, and I think that the tech companies should just get ready for it.
Right, because in a better example is mobile gambling and mobile betting. So it is legalized in New York. If you go right down the 90 into Pennsylvania and Ohio, you can't get into those apps instantly. So they know based on your geographical data on your phone where you are at all times.
Yeah, I mean, and the technology is so advanced right now. And I think we have to be careful about it. Until I watched a little bit of the hearing, I ain't watched no whole lot of it. That's when I was going, oh, shucks, this could be a real problem for people because we don't know whether they can get even more data when you're on TikTok. And if you remember, a lot of the police protests and protests, not just police, but some of the protests that happened and nobody knew who was the lead.
Yep.
And I think it's Katrina who said that her name was on a flyer that she never put her name on. And we found out that it was foreign governments just trying to basically make like civil war.
Yeah.
And it really did, it was effective.
Yeah, that 2016 election got real toxic.
It was
because
very
of Russian
effective.
interference.
Yes. So if you look at that, and now, folks, let me take you a step further of what's happening very quickly. It's called AI technology. And AI you are able, listen to this. I posted a picture the other day for the time change. And I put up on Facebook, if it's still there, a woman on a computer with a church hat on. And I said something in the caption like, don't forget to change your time, or else you're going to have to be at home watching church like this. And it's a woman with a church hat on looking angry. Guess where I got that picture from? I created it.
Wow.
With my voice.
Wow.
And texting or typing.
Wow.
I simply went to an AI generator and I put in the words or said the words and then put in, but you could type in the words. I put in the words, African-American woman with church clothes on, sitting in front of a computer, looking angry. In 10 seconds,
Wow.
it generated. Now let me tell you how this thing works. First, when it generates, it's not always right. Like sometimes an eye is where the nose is supposed to be. Always there's like 8 fingers and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. So you have to edit. But the way you edit is not like in the day where you go in and you erasing.
Right.
After you put in what you want, on the bottom there's another box for what you don't want. So if the face is distorted, you just put distorted face and it straightens up the face. Or you say, I don't want 6 fingers, and it'll redo it with the
Wow.
5 fingers or sometime with 2 fingers.
Wow.
That picture that looks like a human being, I
Yeah.
generated in 10 seconds.
And what's crazy is because we had this conversation was about 2 Fridays ago, and literally since then since we talk about listening devices, every day either on my IG or Instagram or YouTube or whenever I watch, I see nothing, or my Google searches, nothing but AI information.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, like I really want to get into that space and learn more, but it's crazy because like you said, every day it's developing and it's
Yes.
changing, and the technology is constantly changing. Like, so you think you're up to date and learning one thing,
Nope.
and then tomorrow it's like, oh well, that's an old app now.
Nope. And you can do stuff like if somebody famous and they've got a lot of pictures on the internet, you can say like, and I did this. I said Tupac driving a car like in Cuba. And I'm not kidding you.
Oh wow.
It generated a picture of Tupac sitting in the car. Actually, it put him in the trunk, and then I had to redo because it's not perfect. It's weird, and sometimes so you could do something like this: Oprah Winfrey as a cartoon character on South Park,
Wow.
and it's going to draw it as a cartoon character, and you can say, give me 8 images. And then out of those 8 you choose and you edit one, or give me one, the more images, the more. That's where AI, and I found that just by reading the newspaper.
Wow.
And then searching what are some of the best AIs, or AI character generators. It also, get this, there's an AI a program, many of them out there now, that will write a term paper from a sentence. So you say something like, and so the colleges are freaking out now, and other people are telling the colleges, embrace it, because it's hard to even find the plagiarism because it's making a paper specific to your words.
Right.
It's not going out there and finding a paper and bringing it in.
Right.
Where on college campuses, to make sure that you're not plagiarizing, colleges subscribe to these companies, and they can take your paper, scan your paper, and bring up a plagiarized paper, right? AI is not like that. You put in something like this: write me a 1,000-word paper, or you just put 1,000-word paper, and this is the truth. You put in 1,000-word paper about the American Revolution from the perspective of an African American. That's it. And it's going to write you a 1,000-page paper and cite it. Wow. Now that one you got to pay a fee for.
I bet everybody ready to go back to school now. Everybody
ready to go back.
Go.
Pretty soon you're going to be able to do this. Write me a sermon from Matthew 1:31 with 3 points. And I'm telling you.
Now, you know what's even crazy?
It's going to happen.
Now, here's what's even crazier. You talk about AI. I'm getting an ad that literally it says, upload your video sermon and it'll cut all your social media graphics.
Yeah, I believe it.
I was just, and literally, and it was just like, it had your reels, it had your short clips, it had the annotations, and I was just like, oh, this is.
When you talk about this stuff changing, now, again, I am all for technology. I love technology.
Absolutely.
But I want us to, you got to get ready because of some of the images you're going to see.
Yep.
Are not going to be real.
Yep.
We already got people out here making fake stuff, and and that wasn't even people doing stuff that ain't even well done, and people believe.
Right.
If you saw, there was big rumor out 2 days ago that Trump had been arrested.
Yep.
And you could go see the videos of Trump being arrested and speaking. They had Biden speaking about it. It was AI generated. So what they did, and I don't know how to do this. I don't have that technology. But they took a regular speech of Biden, and before, you could tell that the lips were not real.
Yeah.
Not in this new AI world.
The AI is different.
It looks just so. Now the fear is you don't know what's real and you don't know what's a lie.
Yeah.
And so getting and teaching people how to trace real news sources is difficult. I remember years ago there was this guy running around with a alleged newspaper online, and I'm not even going to say the name of it and give it any win. But alleged, and people just believe whatever he wrote in it. Yep. People believe anything he wrote in it, and you know what I'm talking about. And it looked like it was real. It looked very real. I remember what it was saying. I wasn't going to run again, or I was running for mayor, and none of it was true. And people were running with that, and really and thinking, this is this got to be real because it says whatever it was.
And he would use Google Pictures.
Google Pictures, do all that, and people believe that. So imagine with this AI technology, what people are going to be doing, and this is where I think that is so important for the government. That's when I do think it's important for the government to say, if you use somebody's image without their permission, if you use it, especially if you use it in a way either to commercialize, to make money on it, or to demonize, that is against the law. I think we're going to get to a point where your image, and you can do this now, especially famous people do it all the time, but I think that it's going to be the average person is going to have to now copyright their image.
Well, and then like you said, and even for famous and celebrities, the challenge is you have to, and this is probably where you said government is going to have to get involved, because you have to correct the public domain law, and that's where a lot of people get away with what they do, because then they say, oh, well, this is public domain because it was posted by somebody, or it was this, that, and the other. And I think that's the law that needs to be looked at in changing the public domain and who can use, how can they use, especially like you said, if you're making money off my face just because I'm a celebrity or it's on Google Photos, don't be using my images.
Part of public domain doesn't cover that, only because I can't put Oprah Winfrey's picture. I promise you, her image is I can't put it on a shirt and go sell it outside of Harper Studios.
Oh, no.
Her lawyers would then come after me. How do I know that? Because there's a toy out right now for cats. And the toy uses images of liquor bottles, but they change the names.
I just saw it.
So if they have a Hennessy bottle
and a Jack
Daniels, they got, and now the company is going after them because you're using. And I know that's a product, but the same level is going to, I think, in the next few years, that the average person who would just, their image is their image. Hey, they're going to legally protect their image. Yeah. Because if not, and then that way, even these AI bots and AI creators wouldn't be able to use, they would put a block on it, because, and then, you're breaking the law. Right. And it's a shame we have to get there, but I'm telling you folks, this stuff we're not talking about the future. This is happening right now. And when I come back, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the car I'm getting ready to get rid of, and how much technology is on this car. I'm going to get ready to pay the bills. I am going to make it to the sponsors at 12:30. I am actually going to make it to the sponsors. I'm going to throw it back over to the station for the sponsors in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call 891-8298. That's 891-8298.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo: 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free 877-885-7734. Or email info@brianklewisfuneralhome.com.
Among some of the families that Brian K. Lewis took care of this week, the Franklin family, the Santos family. I want to remind you, in case you did not know, you can catch Power to the People show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. As a matter of fact, somebody said to me the other day, a commissioner who I didn't even know caught our show, he said, your podcast, yeah, I caught you on the podcast talking about menthol. So people are catching on. We do have an Apple Podcast and Spotify. Next week, the show is going to be live from Nativity McGill Middle School. And I met with a former leader, so she was really excited. We're going to be with the students like we did at Nichols, like we did at Canisius.
Yep.
We're going to be over at Nativity McGill Middle School. We like going out, so some of you public schools, we've been at private schools, not on purpose. But we'll come to a private school. If you got high schoolers, we'll come out and we'll do Power to the People when we can before school is out. So we're talking about this technology and just how far advanced it is, and this is why things like Alexa, I'm careful with. Now, I definitely got to be careful, especially for my grandkids. And the boys for TikTok, and just educating them. I just want to educate them. Be careful, but I think we got to educate our young people about social media. Period.
Absolutely.
About being careful what you say and do on social media, because you could delete, you could do whatever. And if your fingerprint is on it, if your stamp is on it, it's ways to bring it back up.
And like you said, and you know, as an employee, and when you apply for jobs, they are researching your social media, especially depending on what type of job you're doing, and they're not just looking at posts; they're also looking at photos. So if you think you get ready to live large and be in the club and post all your videos and photos of you half naked or with the double fisted with bottles, your prospective employer is looking at that as well.
One of the biggest gang busts in New York City happened yesterday. One of the big 30-something people,
Wow.
Some of them alleged killers,
Wow.
were arrested yesterday. Now, look, you want to know one of the ways? Now, this is a crazy thing. Before they went out and did this big raid, they embedded a New York City station, TV station, with them.
Wow.
You never see that in local, Buffalo police ain't going out and taking Channel 7 with them.
No.
That's what happened in New York yesterday. So they start out early in the morning. It was still dark out. Over 100 and something law enforcement officers. And they let them record.
Wow.
I mean, I'm thinking to myself, I'm not bringing TV along. I'm not bringing half the cops along because I don't know who. And this is from the life of a former cop, me, federal, who I had police officers who were dirty. I got set up one time. Another cop. I was a contraband control police officer at one point in Panama, and we investigated duty-free crimes.
Okay.
And what would happen is the people on base got duty-free cards. You could go to duty-free. But they would sell the duty-free items to Panamanians who didn't have the privilege. So we setting up all of these like raids and they just falling flat. And I know the intelligence is right. I know that it's right. Finally meet this female, and she tells me that one of our cops is dirty.
Wow.
And tells her which cop, because all of them got mad at him for some reason. He was strong-arming. So this guy goes down. He threatened to kill me if I ever something happened to me. Just remember this story. Yeah. And here's the bad thing. I think his last name, no disrespect, but I'm putting it out there so that it always be out there. His last name was Kearns, I believe. But he threatened to kill me. He said he's going to kill me one day. Because we ended up setting them up. But so having 100 officers, first of all, everybody would have had to drop their cell phone at the door because many of them learned of the raid right there. So anyway, they bring along the news. They bring along the police. It's 100 police. They show them sitting at different tables in this big room and then getting their orders. Okay, we go into this house. Now, they wouldn't, let them hear the names. But we go into this house. We're going to surround the house. We're going to go in through this door. All of these different tables. Do you want to know their biggest source of information?
Social media.
Facebook and other. You want to know why? Because they're on there rapping about people who got killed.
Yep.
On there with the guns in their hands and the bottles, and they just start taking that information and start building cases. And then, they had, I'm sure, many other things other than social media, but it was given away from social media. From they called it rap. They didn't call it rap. Drill rap. Rap, that's what they called it. It's called drill rap. Because when they said drilling, I'm like, they had drill teams?
Right.
So dumb. That's the way I remembered. I'm like, drill teams turned them in? What's going on with drill teams? Nope, it's called drill or something. And so they showed the clips of people that they arrested and showed them arresting them and then showed some of the clips. And they said they feel they have an airtight case. And you never know in New York because this whole thing with Trump and all that is crazy what's going on in New York right now. But yes, that's how they got him. Social media. Amber Bowling says, let's go back to everything manual. That'll never happen. That'll never happen. But, and that was, if you look at it, the banks losing information, all of that kind of stuff, it's dangerous.
I was going to say, every other day I'm getting a notice about possible breach here. So, a breach of information with one of your companies, but they didn't get this, and this. They may have only got this, and this. So you change the technology, you change the security, and half the people in the room who wrote it could also write the hack to beat it.
Back in the day, you go to the bank, you get your money out the bank, you had your bank book.
Yep.
In the book had your amount. And they would type it in or write it in probably before my time, but type it in. So you took out $20, they type in minus $20.
Yep.
And then put in 80. And that's how you got your money.
I was going to say my first bank, I think, was when you slid it in and got it stamped.
See, before that. And then it came to that.
Yep.
Now, people, and of course, convenience is everything for our generations now. People can just get your stuff.
Yep.
And it's a nightmare. I have been hacked twice. One time, and this was early on in debit cards, for everything. They wiped my entire account out, and I was overseas. I was in Bahamas. Went and put my ATM in the machine, my card, zero. Matter of fact, it was like a negative something that changed. So I called the bank. Bank says, somebody, I'll never forget it, Somebody ordered Chinese food first, and that was a small amount. And then they just start ordering stuff and wiped out everything. Recently, twice, where the bank notified me, did you make this transaction? No. Now what happens? My whole life is upside down.
Yep.
Because they freeze your account. You got to wait on a new number.
Yep. Then you got to change everything.
And here's my problem. I pay everything automatically.
Yeah.
Almost everything. So what happens the other day? I'm driving, go through Easy Pass. I get a notice. Your Easy Pass account is, public disclosure, I'm behind on my Easy Pass account. Because, it takes out, $25 a hit. Yeah. Well, I didn't change that card. Remembering everything, and I do that so I'm not late on anything. Yeah. So I, on purpose, pay. I don't send. I'm not my grandmother. You had to take her over to National Fuel. You had to take her over to the power company. I don't go to anything. I don't even. My bills are paid automatically. I set them up. So what I'm learning to do is don't set it up with the debit card. Set it up with your bank account.
Right.
Because your bank account doesn't change.
Right.
It's that debit card that they get. So some places don't accept the bank account, but the ones that do, because I'm sitting in the house the other day, and I'm online, and I'm like, my computer, I know I got an old computer. My computer is 10 years old. I need a new computer. But I'm waiting for new technology to come out. So it can get slow sometimes. I mean, it's super slow. Nothing. Just crawling, but it was crawling for some reason. But it was taking a long time. I don't know what it was doing. I go to cut on my cable. It said this station, not something. The upgrade. I needed to upgrade. So I'm like, I got to upgrade to C Channel 2? I'm paying $180 a month. I got to upgrade to C Channel 2. So I'm like, okay, something wrong with this box. So I reset the box.
Yep.
Turn on. Upgrade. I said, this box I'm going to have to take this box back. It's trash. I go up front, turn on that TV. Ain't no cable.
You're not subscribed.
I call the cable people. Oh, yeah, we cut off your for non-payment. $500 something because of that one card that I forgot. Yeah. And they kept on saying, I was getting these notices. But I thought it was from a phone. The good thing about cable now, Spectrum, if I could say something good about them, is after I paid it, it was on in seconds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Back in the day, you had to wait. You had to wait an hour or so.
Yeah, it'd be like about an hour. Then it'd be or then the old school is like, we got to send somebody out to turn it back on.
Nope. Way back in the day. Nope. Soon as that payment cleared, I was sitting there and my TV came on. I felt so proud. I was like, but again, technology and trying to keep up with it and having so much of it and what's paying for what. I mean, it is just, and they don't want you to have the same password. So now you got, 58 passwords, and then people telling me about using a password key. I don't have time for no password key. I don't have time.
Yeah, and every time I go into my password, where my passwords are saved in your phone or in Google Chrome, it's like, 32 of them have been compromised. And I'm just like, you know what?
First of all, I can't go into them because I can't remember what the password is to get into them sometime. Like, I'm trying to find the password the other day, and I'm like, what's the password to get into the passwords? Then it take me like a half hour of where the password at and then sometimes I give myself little hints in a certain spot, and I'm like, well, what did this mean?
It's terrible. It's terrible. And then I'm like, well, if you want whatever's in that account, go ahead. There's sometimes some of them I'm just like, go ahead. It don't even matter.
I ain't with that. I don't want nobody to have what's in my accounts. I've been working too long.
As long as it's not the bank account. Some of them, when it's just like a website where I did graphic design or something, like,
if you've ever done something like this, gone to an Airbnb and then you use, I'm guilty, you use the TV there.
Oh, no.
And you put your Netflix in. Netflix I'm okay with, right? Netflix I'm okay with. I put my Prime in one time and I forgot to take it off the TV. And now I'm like, when did I buy that movie?
Oh, no.
When did I buy that movie? Then I had to take it off. But then I got to start all over
again.
putting in the number, remembering the password. You don't remember the password after you've already set it up. Yeah, that's what happened to me. I put it in, forgot to take it out, and some unscrupulous person started ordering. I don't mind you just using it to watch it.
Oh no, he said no. It's free game. It's somebody else's.
By the way, if you have Roku, download Skoview, Skovu. I did. It is Phil Davis and his partners, local Buffalo. They now have a channel on Roku. You have got to go. It's their original content. They got Benny the Butcher on, How I Came Up. I'm on there, How I Came Up. They have their own sitcom on there, and then other movies. And it's free. If you don't want the ads, you have to pay for a subscription. But if you don't mind having an ad, see, I don't mind having an ad because I'm already subscribed to too much stuff. But I would support his because the subscription is very low. It's Skoview TV, Skovu. Download right on your TV, and then whatever your other TVs that's connected to that account. And support Phil Davis, playwright, putting on plays all over our city. Him and his wife do a wonderful job. So support our own.
And I think he has a casting call coming up here at the church.
He
soon.
does.
Yep.
He does. Matter of fact, it'll be in Sunday's bulletin. They're doing a play here at the church. And there's a casting call, not just for True Bethel members, anybody who got an inkling to act and you want to act. I wish I had time. I actually went to Studio Arena for acting classes when I was young. I would do it, but I don't have enough patience. If you're going to try out for it, you got to have patience because those rehearsals and staging and where you got to be, and but people love it. Charles Everhart is in plays all the time. I go to plays and he there singing his heart out. He's so many characters. I don't know which character he is. Sometimes.
Yeah, I used to be in a lot of plays, but I need to be in plays where I get the gist of the lines and then I can ad lib more.
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But you have a great memory, so you probably could remember lines.
Yeah, like I said, I just need the gist. Set me in the scene. I will hit the key lines, but then allow me to just flow.
Well, when I was in college, when I was at Livingstone. And I was joining everything when I was a kid. I was 16 years old.
You were young and ambitious.
I was so happy to be there. I was telling, I told Monique the other day, I ended up on the judicial committee at 16 years old. Like if you got in trouble at college, you came before me and these other students. And,
I'd have been on that committee.
Yeah, I was on the judicial committee, but I joined the theater club. So listen to this, everybody. If you don't know this. I've never had a memory, never. I said today at a funeral for a young man who Kamal gave me the words differently abled instead of disabled. That's where I got that from.
Yep.
Who was differently abled. And I talked about how God, when you're differently abled, you might not have one thing, but God gives you more of something else. Mm-hmm. So I never had a memory for, what drives me crazy, everybody who's listening, pass this word on. One of the worst things you could do to me is come up to me and say, it's so uncomfortable. You know who I am? I'm trying to be kind. You tell me my name. Tell me my name. And now I just answer and say, I don't know. I don't know my grandkids' middle name. Their birthdays, people call me and text me and say, it's Lil Leather's birthday today. That's how and Granddad gonna respond. But I'm able in other ways.
Yeah.
But this ain't it. So here's my point. So on the theater club, you had to remember a poem. You had to remember and recite it during when you were going through initiation.
Yeah.
So you had a week. And man, people was in the dorm. They were going through all that, right? So I did too. Until I found out you ain't have to bring the poem with you. Now remember, there's no internet.
Right.
Right? You ain't got to bring them. You just got to remember it. Oh, my God. I stopped cramming that moment because I said, I'm going to get up there and make up some stuff because they will not know
what the poem was.
Ode to Rosa Parks. oh, that we could have Rosa again. And I just, whatever it was, I just went on and on and on and on and making up stuff. And then I got in the club.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They was cramming. Do you hear me? They were cramming.
That's crazy.
They ain't say. They never said bring your written copy.
I was going to say, they didn't say like it had to be a Maya Angelou original or
you had to remember if you had to, they wanted to see if you could project and you could do
orator.
all that. And yeah. And I made it. And I want to say Georgia Woodruff made it, who is sister of Pastor Woodruff, who was here. I don't know if Darren Moore. Darren Moore is now the president or the chair of the board of bishops of the AME Zion Church. We all went to Livingstone together. Real quick story. He's gonna kill me for talking. He's the one who taught me how to break in buildings.
Yeah, well,
Because it was Georgia and I. We used to hang out on campus, Black University, and we really just wanted to go in the gym, in the theater. I think Ships was with us, who played the piano, just so we could sing. And, they have no alarms on no black campus, ain't no camera.
No.
And so Darren said, well, let's go down. And I was like, how we going to get in? He was like, oh, I'm from New York. Oh, yes. The best lesson I learned, I'm never locked out of anything. Well, now technology has changed. Deadbolts are here now, so you everybody's locked out. So you went to Studio Arena too. Yes, Shuki, I went to Studio Arena. Charles is on. He said, I'll be there for audition. See, he's going to be there.
Yep.
What I'm doing it tonight. Let's go. Yeah, she's probably talking about downloading Scoview. We got to get his the stuff up. Even I'm going to start pushing. If any of you are content creators, and I've been pushing Tony Barnwell to go back out. Those of you who know Tony is always on the Bills game. He's there with his shirt off and he's painted red, white, and blue. And he's out. So Tony goes to church here. He does some content and funny stuff on YouTube, but he's not consistent, and he only has a couple things up. They go viral. I said to Tony last night, because people are making money.
Yes, they are.
Off of Facebook. One girl who I thought was making it more off of YouTube says she's really making more money now off Facebook.
Yeah.
But all you need is to get up to so many subscribers to start making money.
Normally, I think, which one is it? One of them is
1,000.
1,000
on
views
YouTube.
get you like $15.
If you can get to 1,000, and then when people like your stuff and share your stuff, you get paid more. I want to use this platform to do more than just talk. We should be using our platforms to say, let's all go over and bombard such and such's page, subscribe to it, get them up to the 1,000 and beyond, and like and share their stuff so that they can make money. We are missing money.
Yep.
Other folks, one girl I follow, and I ain't gonna tell y'all type of people I follow because y'all gonna be like, oh my God, y'all.
He preaches on
right,
Sunday.
He preaching, he following this person. I follow people who gonna make me laugh. I follow people. I follow a lot of cooks, a few cooks, but they're making money. They have literally left their job.
Well, that's who's in DC lobbying with TikTok. It was.
Wow.
TikTok sent. Like over 100 influencers and TikTokers that are like million subscribers, and they sent them to Congress a day before they got there.
Because I watched this one guy. I've been watching him for years. So if I start watching somebody, I have a little notebook, and I'll write down how many followers they had when I first started watching them. And then I'll go back, and see how it grows. I was watching this one guy, real funny. I don't know his name. Not Country Wayne. I watch Country Wayne. But he talks real country, him and his wife, blah, 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 blah. And they were in like a regular house, just regular house, and he likes nice cars. These jokers then moved. When I tell you columns in the house, staircase, the spiral staircase, his job is on TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, not TikTok, YouTube. That's where I watch him at.
Yep.
But they're making so much money. We could do that same thing here. We have some of the most hilarious people in the world right here in Buffalo. We have serious people. It doesn't have to be just comedy. Right. The commentate, this show right here, if we get 1,000 followers, I can make some money on YouTube.
Yep.
If I get 1,000 people to follow this show, you wouldn't even have to have sponsors, but I like my sponsors. But that's what we don't teach. We rather get on there and talk junk,
Right.
right? You hear you just hear you stop by to drop off the pack. We rather talk junk
Absolutely.
than to figure out how can we. You better cash it now because it won't always be.
No, and that's what's happening. The IRS is catching up with these.
Yeah, I read it
they're
the
catching
other
up with
day.
These content creators, but how.
But pay your taxes. That's all.
That's it. But I think, like you said, it was under the radar because it's not an
Yes,
actual job.
yes.
You're not. So you got to figure out. Okay, what 1099s? Where do I fall in this tax
Yes.
structure? But again, if we're talking about banning TikTok, then now you got to figure out.
Gotta find another way.
Now my revenue streams got to change to solely just IG, Facebook, and YouTube, things like that.
Well, the thing is, when I first started following people on YouTube, I was only following like 5-6 people.
Right.
I follow like 130 people now.
Yeah.
So if I'll look through sometime to see if they put up something new, but half of them I don't even look at anymore. But they made money off of my clicks.
Yes. Yep.
And I'm okay with that. Like when I tell you I'm okay with it because I've seen so many people, so many African Americans, so many black and brown people who have made millions. Now the key is though, don't go out and spend all your millions.
Absolutely.
Because you ain't always going to be the popular one on come on banker. You are not always going to be the popular one on that platform.
Yeah.
And now you still got to sustain. So if you go out now, people don't think about this. If you go out and you buy, are they doing commercials at the end, or we just doing
going
it
straight up?
Straight up. If you buy a $3 million house because you making $1 million,
You got to sustain that.
you got to sustain it.
Yep.
And when you're not making it, you still got taxes.
Yep.
And if the roof go on $1 million house, you paying.
You ain't calling Boo Boo and them.
Boo Boo and them ain't, no. First of all, the security guard ain't gonna let Boo Boo and them come through the gate. The Boo Boo and them can't not get in. They can't.
Yeah. No, and I, you know who actually to me kind of, I won't say he was the first, but I would say in the last few years was the most successful in Kev on Stage.
Yes,
Because-
that's where one of the ones I first started watching.
because he made it. And then he created his own studio.
Yes.
And then just literally just created
had other people.
Yes.
This is what, and I told the young people last night who got their awards, network, learn how to work together. May Bynum said, thanks, show us how to support each other. Exactly. If I got a content creator in True Bethel and their content is good,
Yep.
I don't even have to agree. It just can't be something I'm against.
Right.
At the end of the day, I should be able to get in the pulpit at True Bethel and say, this is our member.
Yep.
If you're on social media, go like and subscribe to the thing. Get them up to $1,000. Get 1,000 people. Get them out there. But this is what we have to learn, where these people are making money.
Yep.
There are people. Matter of fact, and to be very honest, African Americans ain't even making what somebody. I follow this one girl who just put up other people's TikToks
Yep.
and talk about it.
They call
She
it
has
remixing.
1 million followers.
Just remixing.
So she'll say, like on the thing, TikTok videos that make you cringe. That's it. And then put other people's TikToks up, and in between, because you do have
Yep.
to commentate.
Yep.
You can't just do it now on YouTube at least. So she'll come up and just be like, ugh,
Yep.
and she has 1 million followers. Matter of fact, a few million. And when she, and you notice I ain't giving no names because I ain't giving nobody no plug. If it ain't coming back to this, I ain't giving you no plug. 1 million followers, including me.
Yep.
And she posts every day.
Yep.
Every day.
And
Folks.
that's the difference. People make it a business. So, and that's the big thing with this space. It's about consistency. Oh, wait, like you said, you'll be yesterday's news.
Absolutely. Including churches, by the way.
Yeah, buddy.
Churches are making money
Yep.
on it once they get that subscriber base up and they monetize it. You can make money off of social media.
Yes, you can.
And then they bring it to your bank. Rob Lowry had a great thing last night. You were there. I mentioned it about Rob's thing last night. But that's that working together. That's that building wealth. We can keep talking about, and I was told yesterday that Buffalo is no longer the third poorest city of our size. We're now 7.
Oh.
But we still in the running.
Yeah. We still top 10.
We still top 10.
Or bottom 10, however you look at it.
At the end of the day, we have to learn how to push this information out, how to work together, just like being on this station. If you're listening to us, you want to do your own radio show, come on, bring the money. Come on, bring that money. Get that sponsor. Listen, it's been great. I'm going to throw it back over to the station. Until next week,
Power to the people.